Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube educational video series. Myself Prashant Kohli, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, MEP Samaj, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Nandgaon, Nashik. Friends, last year University of Pune has introduced choice-based credit system for the BSc course, and this year there will be at the same time CBCS system for SYBC students. So as far as chemistry syllabus is concerned, SYBSC chemistry syllabus also revised. So in this case, the syllabus is divided into two semesters. In the first semester, there is the introduction of inorganic chemistry in the course CH301 for 2 credits and 36 lecture. We can see there are 4 chapters are included in CH301 inorganic chemistry section: molecular orbital theory, chemistry of d block elements, introduction to coordination chemistry, and chemistry of carbonyl complexes. So out of these 4 chapters, the chapters are independent on each other. So firstly, they have also introduced the coordination chemistry. So if one has to learn about the inorganic chemistry, so we should know the basic concept of coordination chemistry first. Then we can apply the coordination compounds in terms of catalysis, in terms of carbonyl complexes formation. So the journey of this inorganic chemistry must be started with the coordination compounds. So as the coordination compounds is very important topic related to the inorganic chemistry. So hence I am going to discuss about the coordination compound first. In upcoming videos, we are also going to cover all the part of coordination compounds. At the same time, we are also going to discuss the another part of the syllabus. So friends, coordination compounds are already introduced this chapter basically in 12th chemistry as well as in a CBSE pattern syllabus. So students might be aware or they have some basic knowledge about the coordination compounds as in the 12th class. But for this SY basic chemistry syllabus with the coordination compounds, we have to also see some another part of inorganic chemistry. So that's why I'm going to take some basic concept of the coordination chemistry. I'm going to discuss very small and basic concept related to the coordination compounds. So one can define the coordination compounds as a central metal atom surrounded by the ligands in the various geometries like square planar, tetrahedral, octahedral, linear, trigonal planar. So there are various geometries resulted when these different ligands combine to the central metal atom. So in terms of the coordination compounds, we know that the number of bonds formed by the central metal atom generally greater than their usual valency from the metal atom. So we can see that there are various examples. There are thousands of examples of coordination chemistry, and Alfred Werner was the first who discovered the coordination compounds. So basically, he also wrote the Werner theory related to the coordination compounds. So this is the first example. We can see that the hexa aqua iron 2 plus complex. Another example is a tetraamine copper 2 plus. So there are similarly to these complexes there are number of examples. So here we can see that the aqua ligand as well as amine ligand where the central metal atom is surrounded. So this is a small diagram explaining the coordination compounds or various entities that are associated with the coordination compounds. So here is a centrally located cobalt that is called as a central metal atom, and these are the 6 ligands that are covering to the cobalt. And here the square bracket, that square bracket is generally called as a coordination sphere. Here is a amine as a ligand, and this dark black bond represents the coordinate bond. And here is a +3 charge resulted on the complex that is called as a primary valency or non-ionizable valency. At the same time, the species which are present outside of this square bracket called as a secondary valency or ionizable valency. So we are going to see in detail what is primary valency, what is secondary valency, and why these are called as non-ionizable or ionizable valency in Werner theory. So basic definition, more importantly in case of coordination compound, there is a coordinate bond formed between the metal and ligand. So how one can define the coordinate bond? So generally when the single atom bearing the lone pair of electron from the ligand molecule contributes both these 2 electrons at the same time to form the bond, and that bond is resulted called as a coordinate bond. So it is very necessity for the ligand, it must possess the lone pair of electrons, and at least it should possess one lone pair of electron. So you can see that these are the various example, and all these are the monodentate ligand. We are going to see in the next session the classification of ligands. So these are all are the examples of ligand. These are going to contribute lone pair of electrons to the central metal atom for the formation of coordinate bond. So this is diagrammatic presentation for the coordinate bond formation. So friends, this coordinate bond is indicated by the double headed arrow. So you can see that the double headed arrow coordinate bond, and this is lone pair towards the amine ligand. This lone pair is donated by this amine ligand to the central metal atom Fe3 plus. So in this way there is a formation of coordinate bond between the ligand and the metal. So in student mind, they generally think that what are the lone pair of electrons. It is very obvious question when we were studying in BSc class. There are thousands of questions in our mind. What are the lone pair of electrons? How these lone pairs are resulted towards the molecules? So friends, these lone pair of electrons are simply the unshared pair of electrons. That electrons are not shared by the molecule or ligand, that are generally called as a lone pair of electrons. So here we can also see that another definition, the electrons from the molecules which does not take part in the bonding. So these molecules, generally these electrons not taking part in the bonding called as a lone pair of electrons. At the same time, these lone pair of electrons are also called as a non-bonding electrons. So you will see one short example how the lone pairs are resulted towards the molecules or ligands. So this is very simple example. Here is a water molecule we can see, and towards this water molecule, through hybridization concept, we will try to understand how the lone pair of electrons are resulted towards the molecule. So friends, here is oxygen which has atomic number 8, and this is the general electronic configuration for the oxygen molecule, 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. So whenever in case of ground state or excited state configuration, during the bond formation, the molecule or oxygen atom undergoes the excited state, and during this excited state formation, he makes available the orbital or electrons for the bond formation. As we can see that in the ground state, these are the 2 unpaired electrons towards the oxygen. These 2 unpaired electrons will combine with the 2 unpaired electron of hydrogen and formation of sp3 hybridization. Now hybridization concept we already know that during the formation of molecules, electrons undergo the process of hybridization. So here this water molecule resulted the sp3 hybridization, and overall shape for the molecule is V shape, bent or angular. So here you can see that the 2s electron of oxygen and 2p electron of oxygen not taken part in the bonding, and that's why these 4 electrons resulted as a lone pair. That's why we can see that towards the oxygen there are the two lone pair of electrons. So these two lone pair of electrons will be utilized by the oxygen for the coordinate bond formation. So what are the ligands? Generally the ligands are the neutral species or the molecules bearing the lone pair of electrons. So it is very must condition for the ligands, they must bear the lone pair of electrons. At least the ligand molecule must possess one lone pair of electrons. Simply most of the times ligands are also called as the Lewis bases, because Lewis base generally also contribute the lone pair of electrons towards some metal atoms. So these are the number of examples, you can see that. So there is a simple classification of the ligands. As a part of syllabus, we are going to see very shortly about the classification of ligand. So probably the ligands are classifying according to the number of lone pairs available towards the ligand or number of sites that can be attached to the central metal atom. So here the classification is based on the number of lone pair of electrons or sites that can be available to donate towards the central metal atom. So this is a simple classification of the ligands. Ligands are divided into the various categories as a monodentate ligands, bidentate ligands, tridentate, tetradentate, pentadentate and hexadentate and so on. So this is a classification. I am not going to very detail, just I will tell you the definition and example of these various ligands. So in terms of ligand, there is one terminology that is called as a denticity. So basically denticity is referred as in terms of ligands, that number of sites available towards ligand for the donation towards the central metal atom. For example, if that particular molecule has one lone pair, then it will be referred as a monodentate, one lone pair for the donation to the central metal atom. So here we can see that monodentate ligands, when the particular ligand has only one lone pair to donate the central metal atom, called as a monodentate ligand. So there are various examples that can be performed the function of monodentate ligand, like amine or aqua or carbonyl, cyano, pyridine or halo group, that is what the halogens, that can be also recognized as a monodentate ligand, because they can be contribute the one lone pair of electrons to the central metal atom. So here we can see the examples like that. This is water molecule which has a lone pair of electrons, and this lone pair of electrons is donated by this water molecule to the metal, because it has only one lone pair, so that can be classified as a monodentate ligand. So we can see the another classification, that is a bidentate ligand, when the particular ligand has two lone pair of electrons or two sites to donate to the central metal atom, called as a bidentate ligand. So there are several examples of this bidentate ligand, like oxalato C2O4 minus, ethylene diamine abbreviated as EN. So here we can see the example of ethylene diamine, which is bearing the two lone pair towards this two nitrogen. So this is one nitrogen, this is another nitrogen, and this is overall structure of ethylene diamine. This ligand is also called as chelate ligand. We are going to see what is chelate ligand in the next session. But these two lone pairs will be donated by this ethylene diamine to the central metal atom. So overall we can see that there are two lone pair of electrons that can be donated to the metal atom. So in this way, friends, there is a simple classification for the ligands. Tridentate, I think you might be understood what is monodentate, bidentate or tridentate. So tridentate ligand has a 3 lone pair of electrons. Similarly, tetradentate has a 4 lone pair of electrons, and pentadentate will have 5 lone pair of electrons to donate to the central metal atom. At the same time, very famous example of hexadentate ligand is EDTA. So this EDTA has a 6 coordinating side or 6 lone pair of electrons that will be donated by this EDTA to the central metal atom to form the very stable geometry or to form the chelating complexes. So here we can see that this is one side of nitrogen which has lone pair, this is another nitrogen which has lone pair, and this is the oxalate group, or we can see that the acetate group. That acetate group will donate the lone pair of electron from this oxygen to the metal. So overall, third coordinating side, fourth coordinating side, fifth coordinating side and sixth coordinating side. So we can say that the EDTA is a hexadentate molecule. So friends, the next part of this coordination compound will cover in the next video. I hope that you got understood about some basic concept. So basically this video is for UG student, and I hope that the student will understood the concept of coordination compound. And thank you very much for watching my video. So thank you.